Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kayla Meguin. Along with me, I have Emily MacMahon and Maria Onde. Today, we will be discussing our major assignment part two, also known as our applied design project. I am going to just be giving a brief description of what this website is and the accessibility issue we tackled. So, our application is called Go Lion, and Go Lion was made actually previously with myself and Emily, and it was a website created to help people create goals, complete goals, create lists, essentially things like that. Um, we wanted to have an idea that was able to help people and make it more personable for them instead of just having like a generic plan for people. It would be specifically towards that person, their needs, their schedule, whatever they needed to work with. We also implemented communities and a bunch of networks for people to connect with other people having um, like the same issues, like motivational issues, essentially stuff like that. We also had personal trainers because there's also like workout stuff on there too. So we kind of just have like a little bit of everything in this website. And the accessibility, um, I guess, challenge would be color blindness. We thought that'd be very fitting for this project since it was actually a very complete website with templates and everything. So we figured looking at color blindness would actually be more helpful to us as designers and to kind of take a look how it would be um, in an actual application that we have created. We just thought that it would be more beneficial to us to learn that way. And that's essentially the whole point of us just kind of tackling this project once again. Improvement is always there. There's always room for it, especially in design applications and especially in accessibility stuff, because we didn't take those things into consideration the first time. I mean, we did, but it wasn't in depth as well as this class is. Um, so that's kind of what we will just be going over today. Either Emily or Maria will be going into more in depth about everything we have done.
Hello. Today I will be talking about color blindness and how our website is affected by it. So, color blindness is when a person's not able to distinguish the differences between color. Hues and saturations might make the colors look identical or very, very similar, where some people might not be able to tell them apart, or in some severe cases, some people are not able to see colors. Um, and the most common form of color blindness is distinguishing between blues and purples. Color blindness is very common amongst males. About 8% of the male population around the world has a form of color blindness, which means about 108 users will have some form of color blindness, which is a very huge amount of the population, which is why we need to make our website a little bit more colorblind friendly and user friendly. The problem with our application is that we do have a gradient scale, so even if the saturation changes between the color, some users might see it as the same color, although it is a different color. And I'll show you here, we do have these two colors, and these two colors look pretty similar, even though they do have a different color code, but they do fall very close together. So you can already see these two and these two are a huge problem in our applications. The reason why this might affect a lot of the users and how they use this website is because they might not be able to see the most important goals or reminders. because some of them are a different color or like a different or vibrant color, um, and that could affect how the user sees the importance of their goals or their reminders. I'm going to show you different perspectives of color blindness, like almost a colorblind goggle, so you can start seeing how colorblind somebody who's affected by color blindness will start to see our color scheme. This is the original colors, the scheme. Again, these two and these two are very similar, and as you will see, most of the time this doesn't change, that these still remain very, very identical. The first one we have is a red weak color blindness. Almost all the red is gone, and you can still see these two and these two are very, very similar. Here's a green weak color blindness, and here are very, very similar. Here's the most common form of color blindness, and again, these two and these two are similar. Here are more severe cases of the same color blindness, so this is the red one, and this person will not see any red. And you can see they're more yellow, brownish tone, so the oranges are gone and they're more like of a brown green, and they are still the same difficulty to tell the difference. Here is a more severe green color blindness. Again, these colors are very similar, almost like they all are very similar. These two are a little darker, but very, very similar. And here's a more severe blue color blindness, and here and almost here they're very similar, and these two are very similar. Here is a perspective of somebody that cannot see color, and it's very hard to tell the difference between these two and these two. Here is another perspective, less vibrant, but again, same problem. These colors are very hard to distinguish. As you can see, no matter which perspective, colorblind perspective you see it in, it's still bad. How similar these colors are, and even without any color blindness, these colors are very similar. So we have a problem where we need to change the color scheme to make it more colorblind friendly.
Hey everyone, my name's Emily, and I'm going to be talking about the issues in the design and the original color palette for this project. Our two most similar colors were these deep orange colors. One was found in the main page color, and the other was found in the orange circle behind the logo. And then we have these two yellow colors, which are also very similar, that are both just found in the main of the logo. For the sake of simplicity, consistency, and mindfulness to colorblind users, the best course of action is just going to be to pick an orange and to pick a yellow to use throughout the application, rather than have the weird secondary orange, and just use a darker shade of yellow in the logo and have the shadow color be the same hue but with a different level of saturation. Studies have shown that colorblind users are able to distinguish shades better than the people with sighted issues. Therefore, increasing the contrast between colors and using the same hue but at varying levels of saturation is better for our users than picking out a bunch of different colors and checking them for readability. So we have this new logo on the left of the lion, where we essentially took that darker shade and desaturated it to this lighter shade, rather than the original logo color, which was two separate shades of yellow. In retrospect, I don't really like the old logo's color combination. The yellow is just a little bit like dingy looking. I like this new one a lot better. It's a little more readable as well. And this is what the old homepage design looks like. It utilized a gradient, which isn't necessarily bad design, but I don't think it fit for the purpose of the project, and that it doesn't make a lot of visual sense when the gradient only uses half of the page. So for these design issues and the sake of simplicity and readability for all users, we're changing the gradient to be a solid color. We have also changed around the button colors of the nav bar to increase the contrast, as well as change the middle figure sweater to being a lighter shade of gray just to distinguish it more from the skirt that the figure's wearing. So this is the old design. And we have, there's our figure with the sweater that just blends in a little bit with what she's wearing. The home page, or home button, like you can see it, but it's not bold. There's contrast, but it's just not very readable. The login and the get started blend in just a little bit. Now we're going to see the updated homepage design, which in my opinion is just a lot more bold looking, a little more modern. There's a lot of contrast that we've added here. Just with the solid colored orange background, we changed the buttons around to be yellow, so they stick out a lot more against that grayish blue nav bar color. There's just a lot more contrast. It's much more readable. Our figure with the sweater has changed colors, so she's more readable as well. The old design also utilized a lot of different colors, and we've narrowed them down just to keep things minimal and simple without taking away from the original concept. There's really only two color palettes that we're working with now. One's for the overall design and the other is for the logo itself, with the only real difference being in the shades of gray that are used for the two. It's important to our brand that we keep various yellows because of color psychology. The deep orange of the circle shape was chosen because the color represents creativity and determination. The two golden yellows were chosen because yellow means warmth, cheerfulness, and increased mental activity, as well as increased muscle energy. So the color yellow actually helps activate memory, encourages communication, enhances vision, it builds confidence, it stimulates the nervous system, and these are things that we wanted to keep associated with the brand, so that people are motivated to accomplish their goals, is because it is a goal-oriented website, while also increasing the amount of time they spend in the application. So like I was saying, the original color palette used a lot of different colors, so just to keep it simple, we've narrowed it down. This is like that parent yellow color that we just desaturated in the modern palettes, so that we're not really working with like totally different colors. They're just desaturated versions of the same color. And a gray for contrast and an orange as like a pop color. So this is what we're going to be working with now.